Economic Development Minister Laurence Skelly. So, Mr. Skelly, how's the day gone for you?
Well, it's gone fabulous, really. Just got to look at the weather, the people, and the Manxness, really. This is a unique day for us all, and we're all enjoying the history and the pageantry that is truly Manx.
Now, at a time when there is a government Tynwald isn't completely as unified as perhaps it could be, how important is it that everybody's pulling together on a day like today?
Well, it is, and today is not about politics, really. This is really about our tradition, our culture, and coming together. It's not just politicians coming together; it's coming together for the people. And you have the ancient act where people can actually put their grievances to us on the hill. So this is really about the people, really, more than politics today.
So, any points raised from the petitions put through that you personally would like to see followed up?
Well, as always, we will have a good look at them and see which will be picked up. And I think there was about 5 or 6 there, and it's good to see that people are still exercising this ancient right here on the Isle of Man. That is completely unique.
And of the laws that were promulgated today, I mean, what stands out for you as particularly important?
There wasn't that many, really. And a lot of people ask, what do we do as politicians all year long? Well, it's actually make the law as the primary purpose of what we're here for, trying to make the law to make the Isle of Man a better place. So we did have 11 there today, and it'll be interesting to see what we do next year.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
RONAN. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
So now I'm joined with Mr. Richard Ronan, who joined the Council of Ministers last week. So talk to me about the excitement that comes with your first Tynwald as a minister.
Well, I'm very proud of my appointment. Very proud of my family, very proud of my whole town. But it's something which I take deadly serious. It's something which I'm going to have to work extremely hard to get the agriculture industry, the food industry to a new place, hopefully of long-term sustainability. A lot of work to do on the environment. So it's a challenge I look forward to, and as I say, I'm deeply proud.
And reflecting back on the day's events, then how's it gone for you?
It's been absolutely wonderful today. I think, you know, a typical Manx day. We've had lovely sunny weather, clouds in the sky, and a nice sea breeze, which has been beautiful. It's been a great day. I think everybody's enjoyed themselves. There's good numbers here this year, which is good for the Isle of Man, good for our visitors as well. And I've just had a presentation from some people from Romania, who Castletown twinned a village with a few years ago. So it's lovely to see these guys here today as well. And that's you can see they've just presented me with a lovely plaque, which is great to see from the mayor. If you want to just scan over to see the mayor there, so give him a wave, guys. There he is. So yeah, so things like this. This is what this day is all about. And again, you're looking at the likes of Hector Duff. It's Hector Duff I work with on the War Memorials Committee for 2.5 years. He's an absolutely remarkable man, and no better honour could be fitted on somebody, certainly in the 100th year of the start of the First World War, and I think it's a great honour. I'm deeply proud for him and his family as well. He's a great guy, and we should all be very, very proud of him.
Sure. Thank you very much. Yes.
All right.
So we'll invite you again.
Okay, ready to go.
I'm talking to Mark Kermode, a BBC film critic and patron of the Isle of Man Year of Culture.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
So when did that title get bestowed upon you?
Well, I mean, I come to the island every year because my mum's from Douglas, so all my relatives are from the Isle of Man. And I'd done some stuff with the Isle of Man filmmakers, and they talked about the Year of Culture coming up and said, well, I'd like to get involved in the film festival, to get involved in the short film making. And it sounded like a great idea. So we're halfway through it at the moment. We've had some terrific events. I did a talk last night. We've got the film festival itself coming up in a couple of months' time, which we're going to have silent movies, we're going to have short movies, films made by local filmmakers. And obviously, to be here for Tynwald Day when the weather is fantastic. We've had 3 days of absolutely glorious sunshine. So it's I've only ever seen it from the other side of the road before.
Right.
So it was great to be where we were.
And a part of the ceremony itself as a visitor.
No, absolutely, and I mean, I'm a stickler for tradition anyway, and we've been treated, and we've been treated very, very well. We've been shown around the legislative buildings and the government buildings, and basically had a sort of 3-day tour of the history of Manx government, which has been absolutely fascinating. We've had a really wonderful time.
And it's great that the island has you as a rep, really, throughout the Year of Culture. But what's your actual involvement? How are we going to see you throughout?
Well,
the rest of the year?
essentially, what I've been doing is on the film side. I mean, obviously, I've done some stuff with. We made a video about the stamps that you'll know about, obviously, which are absolutely beautiful. I was involved because I've done some reports on films that were made here, like Me and Orson Welles, which they shot at the Gaiety. We were here for the premiere of that, and Chico and Rita, obviously, was all made over here. I think was the island's first Oscar-nominated film. So it was through the film side that I became involved. And so that's essentially what I've been doing. I've been working with Dave over here to get the film festival together. And there's a musical element involved in that as well. And I'm trying to come back as often as I can this year to be involved in as many events as possible.
And I'm picking up over the past few months of your fondness for the island. Would that be accurate?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've always been really fond of it. As I said, Mum's from Douglas. I lived here very briefly, I think about sort of 3 months when I was very young.
Right.
I grew up in Barnet in North London, which is the most boring place on earth to grow up. But so we come back every year, a couple of times a year. So I've always been very, very attached to it. So I was very honoured to be asked to be patron of culture.
And what's the rest of the day hold for you?
Well, we've just finished this now. I think the rest of them are going off on a tour of the TT, although, to be honest, I've seen that already. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to Douglas. My grandfather was chairman of the board of governors of one of the hotels years and years ago, so Mum and I are going to walk up and down the prom. It's a bit of a sort of trip down memory lane for us.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ice cream?
Yeah.
That sort of thing?
Yeah, might have a pint. Maybe.
Lovely. It's great to see you. Thank you
Thank you very much.
indeed.
Thank you.
Right, 3, 2, 1.
We're joined now by Alan Bell, Chief Minister. So, Mr. Bell, talk to me about how the day has gone for you so far.
Well, I think it's been a very successful day today. The brilliant weather we've enjoyed, first time actually for a number of years, really seems to have brought the crowds out. We've got a really good party atmosphere going. The service and the event itself, the ceremony itself, I think has gone flawlessly. And I think everybody's here to enjoy the fair that's here and the entertainment for the rest of the day. So yeah, overall I think it's been a really good day.
So of the laws that were promulgated today, any in particular that you have felt sort of stood out in importance?
No, I think this is just a steady flow of fairly routine bills that went through this year. There's some bigger ones still in the pipeline which we're working on, but every bill we bring forward is important. It affects people's lives in one way or another. We've 11, I think, promulgated today. And there'll be a few more next year, but I don't think there's a standout bill this time, but it's all building to improve the quality of life on the Isle of Man.
So unity is a word that you're keen to see amongst government. I mean, obviously there's been a few issues of late. Are we on the right path now, would you say?
Yes, I had this ambition when I first came in as Chief Minister to try and generate greater unity amongst members, because the last few years have been bedeviled by infighting, battle of egos, point scoring, and an ability on the part of some members only trying to undermine everybody on a personal basis rather than on policies. I've tried hard to do that. I have to put my hands up and say I've failed. The government, or Parliament rather, still has its divisions. We still have the personality clashes. I just wish we could find a situation where all members put the Isle of Man first, put their egos to one side, and we could work together to develop a better quality of life for everyone.
Fantastic. Okay, well on that note, it's a good place to end. Thank you very much. Cheers.
Right. Cheers.
Right, I've got to go back to work now.
And now I'm with Geoff Corkish, MLC, and Geoff is renowned island-wide for his amazing singing voice, and today, exclusively, he's going to give us a rendition of a very famous Manx song. Over to you, Geoff.
Yes, a Manx folk song, Ellen Van and Dear Isle of Man. It'll be sung all over the world today by people who are of Manx descent. When the summer day is over and its busy cares are flown, I sit beneath the starlight with a weary heart alone. Then rises like a vision, sparkling bright in nature's glee, my own dear Ellen Vannin, with its green hills by the sea. And that'll be sung by people all over the world.
I think you just got a round of applause then, Joe. I saw her.
That wasn't on, was it? Oh, no. I thought it was just something between you and I. But anyway, happy Tynwald Day.
Happy Happy Tynwald Day.
And a
How's it
glorious,
going?
glorious day. The day has been absolutely one of the best Tynwald days I think I can remember since I've been here 6 or 7 years now, doing this job certainly. And brings out plenty of people when they know there's a good forecast.
Yes.
Everything went well. The regimental band of the Royal Air Force add that extra pomp and ceremony. And we don't do a lot of pomp and ceremony in the Isle of Man. We're a modest people, really. But this is a day where we can shine and be proud of what the Isle of Man is, especially in this year of culture, when we realise where the Isle of Man has come from, where we are now, and where we want to be. And the culture of today is going to be the traditions of tomorrow. So I'm always conscious of what we're doing today is living from what we have grown up with culturally and moving on. So our young people will also remember all the good things about the Isle of Man, all the cultural appendages that the Isle of Man has that make us different than anywhere else in the world. And people often say the Isle of Man, is it different? Yes, it is different, and thank God for that.
What would you say the
Very
differences
civilised.
are? We do have a civilised nation, don't we? I mean, you know, many people are watching around the world online today are going to have their own memories of how the island was. What do you think the essence of the Manx nation is?
The essence of the Manx nation is manyfold, I'm glad to say. Obviously, there are many uniques, and that's what makes the Isle of Man different. We have our own government, the oldest continuous parliamentary government in the world, of which we should be very proud. And we have so many uniques. And look what the Isle of Man and its people have done. They've spread throughout the world. They've given so much to the world. And when you think we're only a very small little nation, now 85,000 people, that we've given so much and giving to the world. And our culture is right in the middle of it. How many tremendous singers, artists have we promoted throughout the world? You know? So there are people all over the world who know the Isle of Man for very different reasons, and that's marvellous. So the culture that we have is important, where we've come from. We are where we are now. There's a lot of people who are very jealous of the Isle of Man and what we are in the world, and I'm so proud not only to have this position in my life, but to be a part of a nation which has given so much to the world. Certainly parliamentary, we have introduced measures that are now being adopted by other parliaments throughout the world, and we have regular visitors from all around the world looking at how we do our business here in the Isle of Man. So we're teachers as well in the world. So absolutely, and that's the way the people are. You know, we're a tough little people. We have to be tough, but we're modest, and we get on with the job.
And do you think, in part of his address to the nation, the Chief Minister said if he had a magic wand, he would bring more confidence to the island. Do you think there is a need for that at the moment? Are we all feeling a little bit flat?
Well, I think we can never be complacent, certainly. Confidence, I'm always full of confidence for the Isle of Man, because I know we've been through hard times before, we'll be through hard times again. And remember, it's not just the Isle of Man going through hard times, the world is going through hard times, and there'll be people a lot worse than we are. When I look around and see across the adjacent isle, swimming pools being closed, libraries being closed, very hard economic times, we're doing relatively well here. Yes, we've had better times too, but better times will come, because we're a tough little nation. We've got a diverse economy here. We need to be. We're a crown dependency, and that sounds as if we're dependent on somebody. We're not. We have to paddle our own canoe, and by God, we're making the best job of it we possibly can, because we're tough little people. And today is a vote of confidence. This pomp and ceremony we have here today is testament, you know, to how proud we are of the island. We don't do it all the time, once a year. Modest people, but my word, a lot to be proud of.
Geoff, thank you very much.
My pleasure. And happy Tynwald Day to you.
Happy Tynwald Day.
And all the viewers too.
So joined now with the Infrastructure Minister, better get that right, Phil Gorn. So as a very proud Manxman and somebody who really embraces all of the traditions, Tynwald Day, very important for you?
Yes, it is. It's a really important day. Obviously, it's the big day in terms of the Parliament. It's been happening in this sort of form for centuries and centuries and centuries. Yeah, it's a very proud day to be a member of the House of Keys, to be in a position where I'm able to sort of influence the future direction of the Isle of Man, and that's what this is about. It's our Parliament, and it's about politics, which people should be excited about because it potentially changes people's lives.
Now, are you happy with the turnout today? Are you happy with the sort of the numbers that are here representing the Manx public?
Yeah, I think it's a good turnout. I've seen more and I've seen less, so yeah, it's pretty good.
Now we're going to talk a little bit now about some of the traditions here. Now, give us the background to the bollen bane that we're wearing.
Yeah, the bollen bane has to be worn on Tynwald Day, so that all the evil spirits can be sort of warned off. Unfortunately, I arrived here in the robing room earlier this morning, and the box of bollen bane had run out, so I had to go off to the McVannon stall. And McVannon always have a huge bucket of bollen bane, so you can rely on McVannon, perhaps not as much as you can rely on the Tynwald office to supply us with the bollen bane.
So you're happy also that the evil spirits have been warned off today?
Yes, I haven't seen too many evil spirits yet.
Good. Okay, now the Manx language, that's something that you're also passionate about. So, I mean, myself personally, last Manx lesson I had, I was about 6 years old, I think. So, give me a few useful Manx phrases and sayings that I could use today.
Well, Tammy Fear Arreltach, Jenny, and Ti Fiscan Shawl, the Velchin Jinawima Jane Gilg Nismenke, as an Elmia Clash and Mona Gilg Gullalot Jew. So, I think some basic phrases would be, well, I think we're into faster mine now, aren't we, which is good afternoon. Sure, yeah. Kinastasiu, how are you? Brow would tend to be the reply, fine. Or Gullas Gagan would be another reply, which means going and grumbling, because Manx people have never had this desire to be too over the top in terms of how they're doing. So, yeah.
So how would I say thank you very much for the interview?
Guramai Moyo Sonan Ronsa.
Guramai Nyoyu.
Guramai Moyo.
Guramai Moyu Sonan Ronsa.
Shene Yindasa.
There you go, thank you.
A star.